Last two topics from Unit 3, Part 1 are priority inversion and priority inheritance problem. When tasks share a resource, there is a possibility of getting into a problem known as priority inversion problem. I will explain you all this problem with an example here. Consider that there are three jobs J1, J2, J3, wherein I consider that J1 has got highest priority. Okay? And assume that J1 arrives at time 2, J2 arrives at time 4, and right now J3 is the only job which is available. So let's say J3 wants to execute for 1 unit in non-critical section and 3 units in critical section. That is, by acquiring a resource, shared resource, it wants to execute for 3 units. So if I represent each of these jobs, J1, J2 and J3 in a time window. So currently only J3 is available and J3 needs 1 unit in non-critical section and 3 units in critical section. So at time 0, we only have this J3 which will execute for 1 unit in non-critical section. So I represent, for better understanding, I will represent non-critical section as this part, that is not shaded part. So from 0 to 1, J3 gets executed, that is 1 unit in non-critical section. Now J1 arrives at 2. So right now, since we only have J3, this one part of non-critical section gets executed and J3 can still execute 1 unit in critical section. So at this point, at 1, J3 will acquire a resource and it will execute in critical section till 2. At point 2, J1 arrives. Okay. Now consider that J1 needs 1 unit in non-critical section and it needs 1 unit in critical section. Right now, J3 is acquiring this resource, this shared resource, and it is present in critical section. So no other process can be allowed to enter this critical section. Okay, so at 2, since J1 needs 1 unit in non-critical section, it will execute 1 unit in non-critical section, that is till 3. And so 1 unit will be executed of J1 in non-critical section. Now assume that at this point, at point 3, J1 requests for shared resource which is being held by this J3. Okay, right now J3 is in critical section and J1 requests for this resource. Now since J3 is already present, at this point J1 will get blocked. J1 will get blocked. It will not be given this shared resource. Why? Because J3 is already present. So at this point, what will happen is J1 will get blocked. Okay. And at 3, J3 will execute in critical section. So 1 unit is already executed from 1 to 2. Okay. So here 2 units will remain. 1 unit will get executed in critical section. Why? Because at 4, J2 arrives, which is of higher priority than J3. So from 3 to 4, 1 unit in critical section will be executed of J3. Then at 4, J2 arrives. Assume that J2 needs 4 units of non-critical section. So it just wants CPU. Only CPU is required. So at 4, since J2 arrives, it will execute for 4 units in non-critical section. Okay. Again at 8, once the J2 will get executed completely. Why? Because it needs non-critical section. Okay, so J2 gets executed for 4 units. At 8, again J3 will get executed. Why? Because J1 is blocked. So J3 will get executed for 1 unit of critical section, that is from 8 to 9. At this point, once J3 completes in critical section, okay, J3 completes in critical section, what will happen is it will release that resource, okay, it will release that shared resource, and since J1 was waiting for that, it will get executed over here at this point. Okay, it will get executed at this point. Okay, so the critical section of J1 will get executed at this point. If you see this scenario, since J1 was high priority task and J3 was the lowest priority task, in this case what happens is the job which has got lowest priority, it is assumed that this job behaves as if it has got highest priority. And if you see J1 uh, J1 task has to wait for a longer time in order to execute. That is, since it requires this shared resource, it has to wait for a very long time to get executed. Okay, if you see this J2 medium priority task, it gets executed. Why? Because it only needs CPU. But when J1 request for shared resource, since that shared resource is acquired by J3, since J3 is there in critical section, J1 has to wait for a very long time. Okay, so in this case, we say that the priorities are getting inverted. A low priority task, a low priority task, that is say TH and TL, okay, low priority task, it is assumed that the priority of this becomes very high and the priority of this becomes very low. Okay, so in this case we are saying that the priorities are inverted. Okay, so that is priority inversion problem. Okay, next we'll see what is priority inheritance problem. Okay, how the priority inversion problem can be solved. Okay, so in this case what we'll do is we'll assume priorities of J1, J2, J3, say J1, J2 and J3 having priority 1, 2 and 3, wherein the lower number represents the highest priority. Okay, so in this case J1 has highest priority. Then let's consider release time of J1, J2 and J3. So J3 is at 0, J2 at 5 and J1 at 2. Okay, now we'll see what exactly happens in case of priority inheritance. Okay, how the priority is inherited. Okay, so I'll represent J1, J2 and J3. J1, J2 and J1, J2 and J3. And I will also give job execution, that is in critical and non-critical section for each of these jobs. So non-critical section, critical section, non-critical section, J1, J2 and J3. So this is 1, 1, 1. Assume this is 5 and 1, 3 and 1. Okay, now to start with, since J3 is at 0, okay, just check that J3 needs 1 unit in non-critical section, that is from 0 to 1, it will execute non-critical section. Okay, now still no job has arrived. Okay, J1 arrives at 2. Okay, so from 1 to 2, again 1 unit of critical section will get executed of J3, that is from 1 to 2 critical section. Okay, so J3 will execute in critical section. Now at 2 CPU will go to J1 as it has highest priority. Okay, so at 2 it will come over here. If you check, J1 needs 1 unit in non-critical section, so it will execute from 2 to 3 in non-critical section. Now at this point just assume that J1 requests for a shared resource which is held by J3. Now right now J3 is present in critical section. Yes, so when this job request for a shared resource which is held by this J3, okay, what happens is you consider job J1, you consider job J3, okay, J1 gets blocked and its priority, whatever is the priority of J1, that priority goes to the low priority task, that is this task. Priority of J3 is 3. Once this gets blocked, okay, once this gets blocked, whatever is the priority of J1, that priority gets assigned to J3. So J3's priority will become 1. Okay, J3's priority will become 1. At 3, since J3's priority has become large, okay, J3 has got highest priority, J3 needs 1 unit is already executed of critical section, so 2 units are left. So what will happen is from 3 to 5, 2 units of critical section will be executed by J3. Okay, it will be executed by J3. Now, once this J3's task is completed, now J3's critical section is executed. So at this point, it becomes 0. Okay, once J3's task is completed, okay, in critical section, it will release that resource. So what will happen is, whatever priority was assigned to J3, that is highest priority, this goes back to low priority. So it goes back to 3 once it releases this. Okay, now at this point, once the critical section of J3 is done, okay, if you consider job J1, J2 and J3, J1 will have highest priority, okay, because J3 has already completed. So at this point, J1 will have highest priority. Okay, so what will happen is, now J1 needs 1 critical section to be executed. Okay, so it will execute that, and since again it has highest priority, it will execute this non-critical section also. So from 5 to 6, 1 unit of critical section of J1 will get executed, and it will continue executing this non-critical section, that is from 5 to 6, 6 to 7 non-criticals. And at 7, since priority of J2 is after J1, J2 needs 5. Say for example, J2 needs 5 units in non-critical section. At 7, J2 will get executed till 12. Okay, so in this case, you see that J1 does not have to wait for a long amount of time. You see that when J1 requests for a shared resource which is held by J3, okay, what happens is the priority of J1 is assigned to J3. Okay, so priority of J3 is made very high. J3 gets executed, that is critical section, and then the control goes back to J1 since J1 gets the highest priority and it executes its critical section. That's why this problem is called as priority inheritance problem.